Is this still... Oh, the play button.
Yeah.
I was just making sure the play button was on, so I didn't know if the battery...
That's still gonna jar me when that happens. Alright, hold on, let me go my glasses real quick, because that little smudge will bother me. Jill gets it.
Nathan had his perfect intro footage that he could have used right there.
I know, which is why I'm trying to put a buffer
I don't
between
carry
that.
a handkerchief,
Yeah.
though.
I don't either.
Yeah. You don't?
I thought they stopped selling those in 2003.
No, so, dude, it was great.
I was
Whenever
gonna pick it
I went to get new...
1720.
So- No, I don't blow my nose with it, Jill. Why my ass with it? Welcome to a definitely heavily edited episode of the Effin' Movie Podcast. We're your hosts, Mason, Dillon, Nathan, and Price. And today... Yeah.
Sorry, you good? Yep.
Today, what are we talking about?
Talking about Blackberry, the booming enterprise that also fizzled out all at the same time.
I mean, what are you talking about? Whenever GME was popping off, everybody was talking about Blackberry.
Blackberry
then, too.
software,
Blackberry
let's
is
go.
still a thing. They're in cyber security.
Yeah,
all right?
their
They're
cybersecurity is
not
really
dead.
strong.
Yeah.
They're not dead.
That's the DD that I did in on it.
Yeah.
I didn't invest, though.
So Blackberry is basically about the rise and the fall of RIM and Blackberry, like just as a whole company, the businesses that it takes on with Verizon, and then how the iPhone eventually comes in and cuts it down at the knees. And that is pretty much the story. Which I have a little something for everybody.
Yes! I was wondering what you were going back for.
I have a little something for everybody.
Okay, is this what took you
Wait,
so
for
long?
everybody?
Oh, we all get Blackberry!
Everybody gets a
do you-
Blackberry.
Wait, do you get the screen clicking one?
Oh, you got
No,
Damn.
I do not have the storm.
That's what it looks.
That's
what
the
this one
torch.
looks
Yeah,
like.
so that's almost
He brought
like the storm.
blackberries.
We did get all Blackberries.
Yeah,
I remember
yeah.
that you were a Blackberry guy.
Mushy mushy.
Buddy, was I ever.
Buddy.
Alright,
I've
this one actually
never-
works.
I've never
Those
seen one
don't.
of these in
I got the
person.
winning one.
These
I think
are
those work.
awesome.
I
Look
think
at
that
this.
works.
This is history.
It looks so work.
History.
It is.
So
See,
kids,
this is the stupid present. This is what we missed out on.
if
Yeah.
you were
Missed
born,
out on.
if you were born in 2006, you may not know about this little phone right here. I'm gonna
Yeah,
get
go ahead.
Yeah,
Get
you
close
got
there.
Yeah,
So this is the phones we
That
used
was
to
my
have to
favorite.
use.
that right there. Look,
That
it even
was solid.
look what this does.
Yeah,
Yeah, it goes up.
Look, you see that? That's a
They are
keyboard.
everything.
That wasn't the whole screen. It was just the
Why
keyboard.
would you want a phone that doesn't have a keyboard? I
It's
just
so
don't
fucking
understand.
stupid.
Honestly, which probably was one of my favorite parts of this movie.
Yeah.
Like, they're all idiots. Anyways.
But I don't know, like, what's this movie about? How's it structured?
So, Jay Baruchel?
Yeah, Behringer.
No, anyways,
Yeah.
basically the guy from,
His name's
This is
Mark.
the End.
Yes.
Is it?
Yeah, it's
Yeah,
like
his name is Mark.
Mark Lazidius.
Lapridius. Yeah.
Anyways,
Just call him
basically him and Doug, his two really, really good friends, start the company Research in Motion, which ends up finding Dennis's character from It's Always Sunny,
Effectively.
and they go into business kind of reluctantly with each other, and that guy's an absolute sleazebag, but he knows how to pitch his product, and he...
Well, and it's kind of crazy how it's like, you say that they reluctantly went in together.
Mhm.
Dude pulls a mortgage on his house.
Yeah.
To
No.
roll like
No,
to fund
no,
payroll.
We cannot say that he was not 2 feet into this program.
Yeah,
he was all in.
He bet it all on this bet that it was going to pay off. And you know what? It did.
Yeah,
Spoiler.
yeah. POIU. There's probably going to be some encrypting, bad stuff in there.
Is that it? Is that all that this movie's about, Mason?
Well, I mean, it's just, I don't know. There's some sleaziness. There's a little bit of everything in it. There's some friendship broken, similar-ish to The Social Network, which I will relate this movie to quite a bit.
It's a similar in tone drama.
There
Oh,
are
yeah.
Yeah,
plenty of parallels to it.
This thing's
I'll-
laggy as
I'll
shit.
I'll already say that this is far better than The Social Network.
Really?
Here.
I'm on the other end of it with you guys.
I want to fully agree, but I think it's got some good things and bad.
I like the of an era feel that it has.
Absolutely.
Yes, I think it does. I think it does a
it
period
very
piece
well.
much better. And I say period piece when knowing this is only like 20 years ago. But I mean,
That's a
notable
that
amount
is
of time.
a long time ago. There are a lot of people that did not live at that time
Yes.
at all
yeah. So
that are full-fledged adults these days.
right. No, I'll agree that I think it nailed the time in which it was like showing off everything and the development of like phone technology in itself. I thought was like really interesting in that way.
Well, and they actually give you some information. The Social Network doesn't actually
Yeah.
illuminate anything. Like, you don't learn, like, all you really learn is that Zuckerberg is garbage
Yeah.
and didn't
Yeah.
actually do anything
He's a
meaningful.
sleazebag.
Right.
Whereas in this, like, you walk away understanding cell phones actually a little bit better because
Mhm.
you understand, like, the server to user, or, like, the server to...
Bandwidth.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, the bandwidth stuff, but I was just like, the whole thing where you flip on its head the idea of, like, what is your user and what is your server, and
Yeah.
you make the cell phone the server in order to, like,
Distribute the information across
alleviate
the
load
network.
is interesting.
Exactly.
Yeah, no, I thought this film was a lot more educational in that way, but I think that, the funny thing is that's probably the two parallels between this movie, right? Like, one felt like it was more, like, educating as a story and discussion about the content they're talking about, where the other one was focused more on the human story of things. But I think to Social Network's strength, not to have to keep playing this comparison for long, but the main characters in Blackberry, other than Dennis, are pretty annoying.
Doug might be.
I
the
wanted
most-
Dennis. I wanted what's his name?
Doug is
Jay?
Jay Baruchel or whatever.
So Mike, the main CEO.
No, I'm talking about like Dennis.
Yeah.
Like
Jim.
Howard.
Jim. Yeah,
Jim. Yeah, like
Jim Balsley.
I did
Yeah.
want Jim to have like 80% of the screen.
He
time.
could have been the whole movie, and I would have
Yeah.
been fine following it from him for
Like,
entertainment value.
There's a big chunk of the movie where he's not there. Like, if I broke this movie into fourths, like I would say the 3/4 mark. Like, he's not in the movie, like hardly at
Well,
all. And
he
I
also
was-
wasn't
I
in the
felt
company.
that.
Well,
Right.
is that the moment where he's very deliberately, like,
no,
hidden
before
himself away?
before that.
Okay.
Yeah.
Like, there's this chunk where he's just not present, like, at all,
Mhm.
which I didn't like.
Yeah,
At
like
all.
my enjoyment of the film definitely decreases the less that we get Glenn Howerton on the screen,
Mhm.
I agree.
because Mike as a character, both in his like young soy boy beta cuck phase,
Yeah.
and in his like soy boy CEO phase.
Well, I was gonna say, like, does he really change?
No, he pretends
His
to.
hairstyle barely does.
Yeah, his
Yeah.
hairstyle goes through that change or whatever, right? And he was just very annoying watching Doug feel like fuck shit up for him, like his
Yeah.
his nerd bro guy that's also doing all this stuff. Like, that was super annoying.
But there is some degree of, like, understanding where that guy was coming from.
Yeah.
Especially whenever they started, like, cracking down on their development team.
Right.
It's like, I'm surprised, like, he mentions the whole thing of, like, the reason that they're here
That
is
they're
that it's
working.
like this is an environment that they enjoy
Enjoy
working
working
long hours in.
Right.
And
And
you're
he's
about
like-
to change that, and you never see the consequence of that at all.
Oh, no.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's just like at one point they're like all just jacking off, like doing whatever. It's movie night. We don't work on movie night.
Yeah.
And then like the new COO comes in, everything changes, and you don't really see the ramifications of that.
Yeah,
like,
you don't see anybody quit.
Right.
No.
You would
Everybody,
think they would.
there's still people there, and
I
they're still
think-
grinding, but
I think it's also implied that like that shows that they are kind of expendable, because like not only did that happen, but also they brought in these massive $10 million contract
yeah.
engineers that can get the job done.
Pro ZD was in the movie for a
Yeah.
second.
Yeah.
Oh my
Yeah,
god,
yeah.
I loved him. He just played the like just straight edge, just like no emotion kind
Mhm.
of character. He was awesome.
yeah, do not let that guy in next to your engineers. He will
Is
fuck your
that who
shit
that
up.
is?
Yeah.
He had an intro, and then he had a description of the big bad wolf that was coming in. That
Yeah.
was it.
Yeah.
Well, no, because he also had like a lunch moment with the other
Oh,
guy
yeah.
that was just like, so how much are they paying you?
He's
like, I can't
don't think I
say.
should really say. It's like, they're paying me $10
$10
million.
million. Yeah, they're paying me $10 million.
Same here.
yeah. Yeah, I mean, I think on those fronts, the funny thing is, it's like outside of like, because we got our big three main characters, we got Glenn Howerton, and then Doug, I guess, to a lesser degree, and then Mike.
It's like
They're
2.5.
2.5, right?
Yeah.
But like, I found all the side characters much more endearing on the whole run with it, right? So whenever the Palm Pilot guy comes in, and he's making Carl, and he's making a pitch or whatever, and he's like, "So what's your guys' market cap?" Huh?
And
Okay.
he's just, oh yeah,
Oh,
I
yeah.
see here. This is to the second power. Oh yeah, I could just buy you.
Yeah, I could just buy
Okay,
you.
How about that?
Yeah.
And I don't know. I thought that part was cool. Really quick, a trivia: the
Mm-hmm.
real Carl died the day after this premiered in Canada this year.
Oh.
Man,
The real.
he held out
Carl.
just long enough
did
to
he
see
get
it.
to see it?
I don't know.
Yeah.
I would have if I was him.
Yeah.
And I loved how they played that lunch too, where like Mark and
Yes.
Glenn or Jill Jay?
Jim.
God, I
Yeah.
can't remember his name for some reason.
Oof.
And like Mark's like freaking out, like I don't know what's happening. Like, are we about to lose everything?
Right.
And then Jim's just like, "Yep, no, we're fine. Like we'll
Yeah.
figure this out." And then when he gets off, he's like, "This is full panic mode. Do you not realize what's about to happen?"
Right.
Yeah.
And that's when he has that amazing outburst when he's like,
It's a
on the
hostile
phone.
takeover!
Yeah, and so just banging on the
Breaks
telephone.
the,
thing. Yeah.
Are you selling more phones? Yes, I'm selling more.
What do you think I've been doing out here? Oh, dude, him. Okay, so It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia. I think Dennis was my favorite character until about halfway through the series, and then he started getting a little bit annoying.
No.
To me, I don't know. No, hang on.
Dennis is my favorite character.
Because I think that he is just this outbreak character. He has all these outbursts. He's a little bit too much. But then you deliver a movie like this where he has these little tiny capsules of screen time and just explosions, and I'm like, this is what I want from It's Always Sunny.
Right.
Like
You wanted him to rein it in
purpose.
just a little bit.
He doesn't.
Right.
He's not exploding over
minor things.
Right.
over water that's coming out of the faucet that's a little bit brown in the bathroom. I'm like, this makes more sense to me. So I loved this Dennis. I don't know, but it is funny. I think that
when he went to the NHL like that hectic day he had and like
the land of the vampires.
He was like, this is a hostile effing takeover, and he's like screaming.
Yeah.
It's like, man, he is giving it his all at that point.
I do think it is a little funny though, where it's like, they're allegedly, quote unquote, in Hollywood, there's like talks that there's like Oscar nom talk on this movie, and maybe even Glenn Howerton's performance.
No.
And I'm like, it shouldn't be, but
No.
but I'm also like, this is mostly still Dennis, so
Yeah,
I'm
it
like.
is.
All right, go give him a Grammy then, or an Emmy, or
Yeah.
whatever it is for the TV show stuff. I'm like, go give him that for that retroactively then, because...
I agree, he is the same character, but like his facial, like everything about
Yeah,
him.
I'm not
obviously
sleeping
his
on
looks,
the acting of it. Like, he definitely is committing that. It's the same energy, different
He's
role.
not given a nuanced performance.
Right.
No,
He goes angry, and then he goes kind of not angry.
Right.
Yeah.
Him whenever he first walks into the office, and...
Yes, I love that.
that one is so good, where it's just like... All right, where am I going? And then they're just like clean out the closet for him.
Yeah, we all make our own desks here. Yeah, fuck that. I'm not doing that.
Yeah, I'm not doing it.
He's like, Shelly? Like, who's Shelly?
This is Shelly. You're gonna get her paychecks from her for every 2 weeks now. Otherwise, this movie's really, really fun. I think that if we're talking about just like human dramas that are just kind of keep going and chugging along and seeing again the rise and fall of Blackberry. That's something that I'm interested in because I think so many people were fan of the BlackBerry product in our time.
You guys have no idea. I had 3 others. I had the
I believe
Storm,
you.
I had the Bold.
This man still doesn't have an iPhone.
Yeah.
So the Bold is one of the ones that they talked about.
That's the one they talk
movie.
about.
Yeah,
right?
the Bold.
That's the one right before the squeaky
Yeah.
click.
Yeah, the Storm was the one that basically put them under.
Yeah.
Like everything. But the Bold was my favorite. This is actually the Bold. But this is the newer one. I used to have a Bold with that trackpad or the trackball.
Oh yeah, the ball. Yeah,
and I don't know where that one went.
See, I hear the ball was like the hot shit about Blackberry.
Dude, that was cool.
Hannah was
it glowed white,
Yeah.
like it was like a pearl.
Hannah was always going on about it, saying that like she was a BlackBerry girl as well, and she was saying that she's like, oh yeah, dude, I fucking dropped that thing into a toilet for a whole evening, pulled it out, and then like it worked just fine.
And the button sounded better.
Yeah, like it improves with disaster with it, so which is a pretty impressive feat because it's like for phones to go from for kids who don't know. We used to have either not just the home phones, but we did have cell phones, and they were literal bricks. Like
yay tall.
Yeah, about yay tall, about yay thick, and these were you could shoot a bullet at it and it would bounce off the bullet, right? But to go to advanced phones, like something like this, something that resembles something you would recognize now. These things did not just smash in the bits, whereas iPhones still smash in the bits every time they get a breeze on them. So
Yeah, I haven't said like anything really negative about this so far, but the biggest negative for this movie was the pacing on it. I didn't I felt like rather than going like over the normal structure for a movie where like you kind of go up, then you hit the climax, and kind of go down and the decline or whatever. This one felt like it went straight up and then like it plateaued for a while. Then it went straight up and just plateaued, and then the ending just kind of happened out of nowhere.
Which that also speaks to I think the time jumps.
Yeah.
Where like
they fell apart.
From the moment that they made that deal and they went I think from 1996 to 2003 like that was
huge.
phenomenal.
Huge, right.
That was huge.
Because like they were in this like closet dump area,
right.
and then they have this huge complex.
They have 2 complexes because Jim at one point goes to like the is it the marketing team or the advertisement where
Oh,
they're just
yeah.
throwing a football like
Yeah,
he's like I need you
because
guys to sell.
because they're not allowed to sell.
Right.
Yeah, because they were capped out, right?
Yeah.
Like,
Right.
They couldn't sell anymore.
Yeah, no, I mean, then they walk into what you would imagine, like, Google headquarters would look like
Yeah.
nowadays, right? Yeah. No, I think that leap was, like, super good, but I also think that there's... And I get that, objectively speaking, that there's not a lot of, like, meat in, like, the main points of the story, probably, during those years. It's just that we're on the rise, we're doing good. But, yeah, to your point, Bryce, I do think that the pacing on the tail end could have been fleshed out with more info from that period of time. Like, more of the rise.
I think that was supposed to be like the more dramatic. Well, I don't want to say more dramatic because I think that there were plenty of points in the first 2/3 of it. But to me, it's like something was lurking around the corner. Like in that last third, the SEC was calling.
Mm-hmm.
Jim was basically not even in the company anymore, or if he was just barely. Like I don't know.
Yeah.
That I think some of that is probably chalked up to like
Probably.
the fact that they are having to portray kind of stuff that really happened.
Mm-hmm.
So, if that's how it went down towards the end, then that's how it went down.
Yeah,
I mean, maybe they could have changed the pacing, but a lot of the beats would have had to have been there as they happened.
And also with that whole talking about selling all those things because the hostel, like I think it was brilliant how they had to start advertising. How they basically had to say that businessman, this is a cool businessman's phone, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like I want you at all the clubs, I want you on your phone all the time, telling people that it's a Blackberry.
That's me and Nathan everywhere we go with our phones now.
Honestly,
unironically, it really is. Like,
Yeah, I mean,
you just flip it open and you become a different person to society.
like everybody's got to know what the deal is.
What's the deal with that phone? And I'm like,
Yeah.
well, have you ever just wanted a tablet and a phone at the same time?
Yeah.
Well,
It's like that Samsung.
What's
flip
your
phone.
wallpaper?
It was
Is
some
it a
anime.
stretch?
no.
That is definitely what it is. You degenerate.
Couldn't be.
Couldn't be, not me.
Not me.
I saw her head on the left side and then the right side. It's like man of culture here.
I'll eventually change it to Jeff Goldblum or something like that.
Him laying down.
Yeah, him stretched out.
Yeah.
No, but I think like on the aspects of this film though, there's I kind of wish this is the part of me that I'm like, all right, let's get a little Hollywoody. I do wish there was a little bit more build up with the Apple reveal because it does feel like it's just on a drop of on a drop of a dime that it's like here's
it's
the
one of
presentation.
those things that like if you know anything about the story though,
Right.
you know that's
Oh,
coming.
yeah.
You
And
know
you
that's
know
the deal.
that's like definitely the thing that is the nail in the coffin for them.
Yep.
Right. For me, even if it's not necessarily exactly how the story's told, I mean, whatever. This movie doesn't need to be a perfect historical description of it. But I would have loved to see, like, if the third act could have been fleshed out with something like, oh, we're getting rumors about this Apple thing, teasing the villain, so to speak, and then we figure out its power level later, and it's, like, huge. I would have loved some, like, a little bit of corporate espionage or hearing in on that, and to see, like, from the head, to be like, it's not a problem, it's not a problem, it's not a problem, and then seeing engineers being like, we're gonna get fucked. But, like, more.
But I don't know, in a certain way too, the only thing that you got from how good Apple was or was going to be was like that one little tiny sales meeting where he was like, here's quarter 1, here's projections for quarter 2,
Right.
but here's 4,
Right.
and they're about to announce this tomorrow.
Right.
See, and that is as much as they give you for Apple.
That's a little snippet they get, and I would have really liked that to be really the whole third act with, like, that into the SEC stuff. I think would have been a good outro, but they just kind of focused on Jim running
They do,
around.
like, pepper in just a little bit of that one engineer being like, oh, they're going to let, like, other people develop
The marketplace.
apps.
Yeah, the marketplace thing, right. Yeah.
And, I mean, that is...
That was a huge deal.
That revolutionized and completely opened up huge new swaths of industry in the world for, like, app development.
Right.
I will say that the worst thing about owning a BlackBerry, by far, was the App Store.
Yeah.
They had their
was
own...
it all first-party apps?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
And
Yeah.
it was like Skype wasn't a thing.
Nope.
Like Snapchat wasn't a thing.
Nope.
Words with Friends, nope.
Mm-mm.
Like all of those big ones that like.
Did you
were
guys get Doodle
obviously
Jump?
No, dude. I don't know what
shit.
that was, to be honest.
Doodle Jump? Oh, bro,
I
sick.
do.
No, there's like the app marketplace was what is it? The Apple one, the Android one,
Yeah.
and then you had way down the line BlackBerry, and it was just like I couldn't do anything that my friends were doing.
Right.
BlackBerry Messenger was another thing that they pitched in this movie.
Yeah.
It was cool, but the problem was it wasn't like iPhones are, where like iMessage goes into your SMS messages. Like you can use them both simultaneously. It was a separate app.
Yeah.
And the only way that you could use BlackBerry Messenger was if you literally had a friend who had a BlackBerry.
Oh,
And at that point, it was pointless because you might as well just text them.
Right.
And also, that was a time where like texts weren't really 10 cents. Like I remember that time, but it wasn't really.
Yeah.
I do appreciate the historical significance of Blackberry effectively making texting be a
free.
feature and free
Yeah.
instead of it being per
Yeah.
message. Because I think again, if you told people like
You just have to pay for it.
Gen Z, bro, we had to pay 10 to 25 cents a text.
Yeah.
We bought ringtones.
Yeah.
You know, they would be like, what the fuck kind of
Exactly.
dystopian world did you guys
Not
grow up
only
in?
ringtones, but wallpapers.
Wallpapers.
Basically,
Yeah.
anything that
Anything.
you
Themes.
wanted,
Themes,
you
oh my
had to
God.
pay for it, and you had to wait a long time for it to download across a very bare bones cellular network.
Yeah, you were waiting for like a day for that, like, pocket full of sunshine. And then it would just
And
hit
it was
that.
polyphonic
yeah,
half the
like
time.
Yeah.
it would be like
Ding, ding,
3
ding,
seconds
ding.
long.
Yeah.
and- yeah.
Yeah, you were better off, like, did anybody else, okay, this is a fun little just cell phone stories of the time thing, because I think that's a good segment for this,
Go for it.
did anybody else, like, record just songs, like, with their phone pointed
Absolutely.
at it
Oh,
and just
yeah.
be like,
Nokia.
Yeah,
would.
Yeah, and it sounded horrible.
like, ass, bro, like, da, 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 da. Like, you couldn't even
Played Dracula.
Yeah.
So, oh yeah.
My dad calls it Dracula, but it's like it's staticky.
Yeah, it's not even, you don't even hear, like, the ups and downs, you just hear, yeah.
All right, last thing about the movie before we move on,
Yes.
I believe.
Mm.
I did say, like, the pacing on this I didn't really like, but I really did like the ending of this movie. Even though it came out of absolutely nowhere, it's just like, I mean, I get how they got here, but it felt very uneven. Like, him just, like, Mark just going in there and just looking at, like, what he's done now, and then, like,
Oh, the Made in China stuff.
like,
yeah.
just
Yeah.
trying, like, just attempting to even fix the ones that have that noise that he heard at the beginning of the movie, and he even had that awesome quote.
Circles back
And he was like,
around.
I don't want to create more static in the world.
Yep.
Yes.
And then that was what he
These
was dealing
engineers
with.
don't
So,
care about the product, and it shows.
It was a good way to wrap it back around to the beginning. So it did tie up very well. And before you even go, how they like how, you know, on these documentary like things, how they give you like what happened in text at the end.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Those were awesome. Like seeing that Doug apparently sold at the height
Yeah.
of the stock was
Good
just
for him.
He
so
said,
cool
"Fuck
to
it."
see.
Yeah.
He said,
Yeah.
I'm
I'm
so done with Mark, or whatever his name is.
Secretly
like,
one of the richest dudes in the world.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that blew me
Yeah.
away because like I believe that like if he sold at the
Height
if you
of
sold at the
Blackberry?
height of Apple or something,
Oh my god.
and you
man.
had it like stock for free, like
And you had like
Jesus.
a
probably
co-founder amount of
40-ish
stock,
percent.
right?
Like,
Yeah.
I don't know what he had.
A disgusting amount of money. Yeah.
yeah, I can't imagine. And then like seeing like of course one of the executives like did like stock manipulation and he got
Yeah.
away scot
Oh, of
free.
course he did.
Welcome to
Because-
America, baby.
Yeah, it doesn't surprise me at all.
Did it not kind of sort of sound like it was because of BlackBerry Messenger and how they alluded to at the
Yeah,
beginning
they
that it
literally
was
said
like
it's
it
encrypted.
cannot be hacked, it cannot, like, no one knows, not even us. But it said that
Oh,
text
I see.
right
Yeah.
afterwards, so I wonder if he didn't,
His texts were still encrypted on the
Yes.
BlackBerry server, right? Which
because
said
it
that they
said
couldn't
that
get
as soon
incrimination.
as it said blah blah blah
Uh-huh.
went away, or was fined blah blah blah. But
Right.
no,
That's a good
the
question.
the thing at the very end though, not to keep relating it to it, but the social network when Zuckerberg's just sitting there hitting a refresh page, looking
Yeah.
for Erica Albright's like friend request, like he sent.
That was good.
It's the same thing.
It
It's
is.
a
It is.
pan out, and he's just click, and I felt the exact same way at the end of this movie, where I was just like, all right, cool, I guess. Like,
Yeah.
that's a good little payoff.
Mm-hmm.
All right, do you guys want to move on to Fat Thick?
Fat
Yeah.
thick.
Fat.
Hey, this is Fat Thick. Perfectly thick. On this show, we talk about how fat or thick or perfectly thick it is. Bryce, start us off.
It is very fit. I think that 2 hours is a good runtime for this. If we're going to play the I wish game that we always do during this section, I wish that it just would have been smoother, the ride that was there. But I still enjoyed it the whole time. I never felt the runtime on this one. So, it's fit.
I agree. I mean, it's fit. I never looked to see how much time was left in the movie. I didn't really feel like it was all that jarring at any point in it. Like, I know they do that time skip, but I thought that was perfectly fine. It's like, we don't need to see the come up this company.
The moving out of the closet into the
we know
tinier,
that we
bigger
know
bigger
they
thing.
come up.
Give us a 2-minute montage at least.
Yeah.
Oh, we'd be
For the
screaming
last
about it.
Forever. Yeah, that's true. As soon as you get some montage,
Sure,
she's
you
gonna
want a
bitch.
montage?
Yeah.
Yes.
That's what you want.
I like good montages.
Okay.
You don't like
no, you
any
don't. Well, you
montages.
never like the montage.
I want to know one montage you like.
I got it
unless
right
it's
here.
anime.
Puss in Boots: The Last Wish. That montage where they're all traveling to like get to the wish at the same
Yeah.
time, and it's got like Jack Horner like painting over his face.
That's
and,
true, yeah.
Like that one's is
Outside
good.
of an animated movie, what montage?
You said anime, so
Alright, that's fine.
different.
So I don't know. I'm somewhere between thin and kind of chubby, and I know that's like contrary, but like
So you're fit.
probably. So the runtime is good. I kind of want more, but that if I got that more, it would be fat. This is my issue, right? So like I just kind of want to swap out parts of the third act, kind of with what I was talking about. I want Apple build up more into the third act instead of what we got there. If we just are swapping those out, it's fit. If we're adding it in, it's fat. But currently in its current shape, it's kind of thin. Yes.
There are 2 movies about Apple, and one's called Jobs, and one's called like. What's the other one called? They came out at the exact same year. Honestly, no,
I forget what the other
prequel.
one is.
But either way, they both came out, so I'm kind of done with the Apple buyout.
I mean, yeah, I don't want so much that. I want it from like Blackberry's perspective. That's my thing, though. But like, not like
you got it from them. They thought they were just idiots.
Yeah. Well, they
They're
were
dummies.
They're not wrong.
You're all idiots.
Idiots.
Who would want a phone without a
Basically,
keyboard?
you kind of see like the problem with very top-down decision making.
Yes.
Is what
Mhm.
like
or
what it
people stuck in
became.
their ways.
Yeah.
Like he.
Yeah,
and
stuck in your way and determine that you know what's best without listening to the input of anybody else. That you are paying money for them to be there because they're smart.
But
That
then,
was-
Mark got humbled real quick when he went to that boardroom meeting.
Dude,
Yeah.
that was his best scene.
And then like he fails his pitch, realizes what's happening, and then just recites word for word exactly what Apple said at their thing.
Well, and he also
so
like
good.
honed in on his inner Jim, where he was just like, "I'm just gonna give these people what they want."
Yeah.
And what they want is an iPhone killer, and that was his best scene, I think. I mean, he almost was in tears because he was like, "This is my product. I created this." He probably said, "I created this product" 5 times in that pitch.
Yeah.
And they were just like, "Okay, fine, okay."
Do you think
know?
Doug created it though?
Doug was almost long gone by that point.
Yeah.
He was long gone by that point.
He had gotten his money and ran.
Yeah.
Bless
So,
you.
Thank you.
I think that this movie is very fit. I'm gonna say it in my final review too, but like this is just another movie of something that you wouldn't care about. If you were to just if you were to tell somebody, hey man, there's a movie about that Blackberry phone, they're gonna be like, come on.
Unless you're a Blackberry fan, because there are.
Dude, tell me Hannah wouldn't want to watch.
Hannah
something
would.
like this.
I told her about it, and I'm surprised she didn't say like, oh, but it was literally because she was like, I gotta go do anything else.
It was a
I don't know.
cult, and anybody who
It is a
owned
cult.
one, I think, would very, very much enjoy it.
I'm surprised these aren't
Maybe-
tattoos. All over.
Inked.
Yeah, exactly.
All right,
Anyways,
I've got a question.
all right.
And I'm limiting this to 5 minutes for total because I know it's going to go off the rails based on how we've been talking.
I don't
so
think
far.
it will.
What? Oh, I've got it right here.
He's got a time.
So my question is, what cell phone in your memory has been the most formative on you? It could be your first phone. It could be your first smartphone. It could be the first one. You got your best ringtone, your best nude, whatever. Whatever has been phone has been the most formative for you.
I'll go
Want
first.
me to go
I
first?
feel like
Alright.
mine's easy.
Time begins.
This one right here, it's a Blackberry Bold.
Okay.
Nathan's got one on hand. The Blackberry Bold was cool. It had a leather back. It was. It did have a trackball, and it was just like this one, obviously, but the model right before.
Is this the Bold?
This is the Bold.
Okay.
But this is after like the original 9000, the Bold 9000. Anyways, I loved it. It was also the first Blackberry that I had that actually had internet. Because the couple Blackberries that I had beforehand, I was like living with my parent, like I didn't.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
So and also like Wi-Fi was just barely a thing at that point. Blackberry Bold was the coolest
I don't
thing,
even know what this is called.
and it was also kind of like, I don't know, it was different. No one else had Blackberries. If they did, like Wes Bratcher had a Blackberry Pearl.
Yeah.
I knew a few people that had a couple Blackberries, but it was a cool, unique group amongst your peers. There's my pitch. It's a Blackberry Bold.
You got yours, Dylan?
I don't. It was like an interchangeable fucking like prepaid. Like it was the brick. You know what I mean? So the funniest thing about that,
Not
right?
even the Razor?
No, so listen, I had the Razor first, and then I had to start paying for my own phone plan while I was in college. So then I was like, well, I'm fucking cheap and I'm poor. So like the Razor was cool, but I only started to get texting on the very, very end of it, right? And at that point, it was just
a big thing.
It's a big difference, right? So no, it's just a phone, and you had to look, and you had to hit, back in your day, you didn't get a full keyboard. You had to hit a button 3 times.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, so, and that one was a flat, button thing, so it was kind of hard to tell. And then I got this brick phone, and something I low-key loved about it, it had the textured buttons, and you got so good to it, you could just send the text without looking at it.
Or, do it in your pocket.
I literally, in my pocket, I would, peek it, and I'd be in class, and I'd just be like, all right, bitches, come get this D,
It had predictive text.
It did, right.
So you could just hit, 5, 4, 6, 8, 10.
Boom, 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 and then write, and it would autocorrect over it. So
Yeah.
for me, that was, my first, real adult phone that had the texting features. I didn't have pictures on it. It didn't have music on it. But I think if we're talking formative, unironically, yeah, that thing never broke. That thing, was, all of the texting stuff on it. It was great. Hopping to smartphone was, a big leap, but all smartphones to me have felt largely the same until the new Galaxy Fold 4 brought to you by,
oh my god.
brought to you by Samsung. And this has been a huge step up since. But, yeah, for me, on nostalgia value, it's that.
As well.
I cannot believe that that's the phone you're bringing to the
Alright,
table right now.
Nathan,
Well, so
what do you
this,
have?
I didn't get a smartphone until the Galaxy 5.
Oh,
was
wow.
a
man.
thing. So I was
2013-ish, 2012-ish.
Yeah, I just
It's on brand for
thought
you,
the
off the grid.
idea
Yeah.
of getting a smartphone was a detrimental thing because I was annoyed that everybody was always on their smartphones.
Yeah.
when
Sounds
we were,
right.
meeting up for lunch. And
Yeah,
stuff
eating
like that,
food
you
or
know?
hanging out.
Sounds
playing
like you,
games.
Nathan.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm with them on it. I'm still about it.
So yeah, I used this phone forever.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I don't know. It's
You
seen
knew
me
the
through a
ins and
lot of
outs.
stuff, and then I got a 5 finally, and I think I've had one other phone before this one.
Oh, wow. So you've stayed pretty...
I keep the same phone forever, and
As a man who's had
this is a
probably
Samsung,
12
and it's
phones.
got a lot of the same buttons that modern Samsungs have,
Yeah.
the volume rocker. You got that little thing that brings up fucking Bixby and what.
It's
I don't wanna
so
hear it.
tiny.
Yeah. This is the palm of my hand. This is less than the palm of my hand.
Yeah, it was a little guy, but it did the trick. It's all you really needed.
Amen, brother.
Dude, I recorded. Yeah, all right. I was gonna say I even recorded videos and stuff with this.
Yeah, he did.
That's not a
Yeah.
light. That's a mirror.
Just a mirror?
That's
a mirror?
so you can see yourself. You take
Oh,
selfies.
You cannot see
by-
anything in
Yeah.
the mirror. God,
It does
that's
resemble
bananas.
a light. It's almost like a fake pitch.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, here's a cool phone, but don't look at it too much.
Who in Samsung sent that pitch? You want a mirror, but I want the size of
Yeah,
my fingernail.
yeah.
I mean, if
A-
you really
a
square
pin
up
top.
on yourself, you can see yourself pretty decent.
You can, but it's my
so
nose.
you know
man.
that you're actually centered whenever you
Ah,
take the
okay.
selfie.
Yeah, because if you're over here, then you're going to be on this
Ridiculous.
side. That's pretty smart. That's cool.
Mm-hmm.
The quality of the video and stuff, garbage.
Horrific.
1.9
I
megapixels.
can
Yeah.
show you some videos that I took with this because I still have them.
Mm.
What's her name?
So,
Alright, Price.
All right.
So mine, I'll be that guy. I mean, when I was I still remember in high school when I was
Of
a
course he is.
freshman, there was a senior who got the new iPhone. He was the only one in school that had the iPhone, and everybody's like, "That guy's so cool." And I never could afford that or get one of those, so I always just had my iPod Touch that I jailbroke to play Pokemon and
Oh,
stuff
yeah.
on.
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
You remember your iPod Touches? Oh, I love that thing. But I always had my iPod Touch in one pocket, and then my old Motorola Razr for the longest time. I had that thing so long. So when I finally could get an iPhone, which I think was senior or something in high school, it was a long time.
Probably the 3 or the 4 at
4.
that point.
Oh
yeah.
I was way behind on that, but just finally having that, and just being able to chuck that iPod away and just have all my music and everything there, that's what did it for me. It was
You
just
heard that
everything
Steve
was
Jobs
actually there.
pitch.
Yeah.
Music, phone,
Computer.
These are not separate devices.
Yeah.
I mean, it's true. Having everything there instead of separate devices to have because I had tons of music, I just have it on my phone then. So
Yeah.
That was really cool, and I still remember doing that.
I remember being in high school having the Razor and then my CD fucking player still, bro. Like, not even the full
Your
on
CD
bro,
player.
the full on, like, it was. I would have the split pairing ones. And
Where
the
my
girl
Zoom boys at?
Nah, I never got
Zoom
that, actually.
boy.
You are such a Zoom boy.
Still have mine
Yeah,
outside of my
yeah.
I would
house.
expect you to be a Zoom.
Mason is. I don't know what it is about Zune. That brand.
It's
and
crazy.
Mason.
BlackBerry and Microsoft Zune didn't
Yeah.
like merge at
Yeah.
some
I know.
point because they're just such
Oh, it would've been perfect.
catastrophes.
This was the thing to plug your headphones into. This.
Oh, it was a long
It had a
jack.
proprietary
Yeah.
jack that you
Yeah.
had to like put a little dongle
Right.
thing into.
Yeah.
That was Samsung's first mistake of starting dongle culture.
Dongle.
Dongle.
Are we ready for scores?
Yeah. Go
Sure
ahead,
thing.
Bryce.
All right, we go down the line. I really enjoyed this movie, and Nathan opened up with saying that he liked this more than Social Network. I could not agree more. I like this so much. I mean, it also helps that I like pretty much all the actors that are in this. Like Glenn Howerton is my favorite character in Always Sunny. Jay Baruchel, I like him pretty well. I've really only seen him like in This Is the End and loved him in that.
Yeah.
And then
She's Out of Your League is the other movie he's in, but that's a weird.
yeah, I don't know
comedy.
that one. And then Doug, there's Nirvana the band, the show. I've watched some clips from it and actually really like it. He's the one who actually made the movie. Doug, he's the one who directed the movie.
I didn't know
and made
that.
it and everything.
Cool.
Yeah, so like he's got this amazing clip. It's We Shopping Channel Wednesday. I'll have to show y'all after. It is so funny. There's a Twitter account that's just called We Shop Wednesday, and on Wednesday, every Wednesday for years, they just post that one clip. That's all they do, and it's got thousands of followers. But anyway, this movie, the humor hit like when it really needed to. Like I said, the pacing's not the best, and I really also don't like how the camera I get that it's like the documentary format, but they also like shake a lot
do.
and they zoom a lot. Like the camera's like right here a lot. Like let's step back a little bit so we can see some things. I'm gonna give this movie a 7 because, like I said, I really did like this. It's just, like I said a million times, getting up towards that 8 category is rewatchability. That's what really gets those movies up there, and I won't watch this movie again. I really enjoyed my first time with it. Don't regret a single minute of it, but not gonna come back to it.
I think you got enough information from it.
Yeah.
To, like,
And it was a really interesting story. It's just like Nightcrawler in that regard for me. It's just like it's telling a story about something I don't really know about, and I'm actually learning something from it.
Yeah.
So
a
It's not like-
culture that you weren't aware of. to
Yeah.
begin with,
Right.
like about how Blackberry came and gone. So I
It's
found
not
that
like-
very interesting.
It's not like a movie you're trying to race back to, like Brothers, in comparison. You know?
Yeah.
Amen.
Nathan, go ahead.
So, in terms of rewatchability, I don't really weigh rewatchability that heavily because I don't tend to rewatch things anyway. So that's not like a barrier to me. I did find this movie very engaging whole time. Enjoyed all the acting in it. Liked the story. Liked the factual details and whatnot. It was overall interesting and kept your attention really well. It had a lot of funny bits to it. It's one of those things where it's like every time I watch a movie like this and there's like some funny line or moment or something like that I'm like, oh, I should make a note of that.
Yeah.
And I
Forgot to
never
do.
do.
Yeah.
And then I'll I'll think, oh, I should make a note of that. But then I'll also think like, nah, I'll remember that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll
Yeah.
remember. Yeah.
No. Because there was something at the beginning of this that
Doug had a ton of those like funny moments,
Mhm.
especially amongst all the other nerds, and like
Yeah.
whenever Jim would come in, he would have like a one-liner and he would just like stare at his like blank face, like
Well, he had a plunger on his computer,
Exactly.
so. Yeah.
You've never seen Star Wars?
modems.
No.
Ever heard of them?
Yeah.
Like, he's like, well, I got sassy too.
Yeah, well, I got sassy.
So, yeah, I mean, I think I'll land on an 8 with this overall. I think it's really good.
Big boy.
Big boy. I like this less than Social Network, which isn't necessarily like a con by any means. It's just like they're very comparable dramas, detailing the rise and fall of like a tech empire in that way. But yeah, some of the characters were a little less engaging to me, and it's not about being a comparison thing. But Doug I found not as entertaining, and I found him more annoying than anything. I found Mike even more annoying without Doug somehow. And I remember thinking, oh, that's frustrating. Obviously, Glenn Howerton crushes it. If you love Dennis, you're going to love this character. And there's a lot of this character. So they definitely, I think, back the right horse in that way with it. The side characters, the engineering, the stuff is super interesting and cool. And I'm a Blackberry intrigued in person on this one. I like to see the history of this one. So I was pretty stoked that this was in the movie watch pool because I was wanting to get around to this anyway. But it still lands as like a good, not great for me just yet. I think that it misses some of the charm and a little bit of like, maybe it's budget, maybe it's there's two. Who's that one canceled actor?
Kevin Spacey.
No, the other one. He got. He's the twin in the
Oh,
Social
The
Network.
one who eats people.
Winklevoss.
Yeah, the
Army Hammer.
Army Hammer. Yeah. There's not two Army Hammers, and he's not saying, yeah, well, I'm 6'5" and 260 pounds, and there's two of me.
Two of me.
Yeah, that line still hits. That puts you right at an 8 in my book. And this one is just missing that line, so I'm gonna put it right at a 7.5 for me.
We're all hovering around
I know.
that same mark.
Killing
Yeah,
it.
yeah.
Go for 8.5, Mason.
I know it. This, I think that this movie, it is a little bit, like, dull in its tempo, right? Like, but I do think that that's that 80s, or not 80s, sorry, the 90s vibe. Even in the 2000s, like, you felt that kind of an older vibe to it.
Early 2000s is a different feel.
It is.
It is.
It is. You think, like,
It
where's all the
is.
technology? Like, that's where I kept thinking, like,
Yeah.
where are those flat screen monitors
Right.
that we would have in
Where
school?
are flat
But those didn't
screens?
come until 2008.
Period. Right.
Anyways, no, but this movie, I think, like, for it to be kind of like a period piece of that, and I think that they nailed the outfits, like, obviously the design and everything, like, his huge
hair.
glasses and his hair.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Mhm.
Doug had that freaking headband on just because he was he had that, what was that band t-shirt that he had? A Salon?
Oh, Alsana.
Yeah. something like
Yeah,
that. Yeah, he had
yeah.
one of those shirts on.
An
at one point.
Ilsana shirt?
Yeah,
I
yeah,
swear.
didn't catch
it was
that.
bright yellow.
I did catch it because I was like, what band shirt is he wearing?
Yeah.
Alsana, that's like, and I was like,
That's old.
is that even appropriate for the times? I had to
Yeah.
think about it, and I was like, I guess it was in 2000s.
Mhm.
Dylan, I am with you in the fact that Doug, I watched this movie twice in about a month. And Doug was pretty annoying
Yeah.
most of the way through, but you did kind of need a catalyst to him saying, like, he's just manipulating you. Like, you don't have to do everything he says, whereas he is the one that has been manipulating you all along.
He's gaslighting. Like, he's for sure.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And I don't know, but again, you also got the comedic points from him mostly in the first half of this movie.
Mhm.
All that being said, I will say that, like, The Social Network, I really, really enjoyed it because I had a Facebook. Blackberry, I lived on this thing. This thing is a cult. I'm not lying.
It is a cult.
When
I want
he,
one.
All right, there
when
you go.
he said,
I keep getting
"Why
this
would you
one.
want a phone
Oh, you get
without a
this one.
keyboard?" I feel that. Like,
The keyboard is half of this phone.
It is because
Yeah.
you don't need a screen this big. I'm still with them on that.
The
So for that
keyboard-
reason, it's a 10.
Ah, is it
It's
really?
a 10. It's an absolute 10. This
What
movie-
are you talking about?
Hell
This
yeah.
movie is
Hell yeah.
absolutely incredible. I think it's great. Now, is it better than The Social Network? It could be yes and no.
Oh my
It's
god.
what's the director, Fincher, right?
Yeah, David Fincher.
David Fincher. He put that really dark tone on The Social Network, meaning like everything was so dramatic, everything was deep,
I
scary.
like how much lighter this
How
movie
levity
is.
Exactly,
this
and
was,
this
right.
there wasn't as much weight to it. The only weight that you got was when the SEC came in, or when Jim had his absolute conniption fits,
Mhm.
and that was really it. It was a little bit more like a little bit lighter.
Yeah,
but,
that's as dark as the tone drops, but even then
Exactly.
it still maintains this levity.
And you might be sweating a little bit during those moments, but
Mhm.
like it's not as bad as like The Social Network was. But anyways, I give it a 10. I absolutely adore this movie. I think it's fantastic, and I think that it tells a story of 10 years from now, people are going to be less on board with like what BlackBerry was. 10 years after that, people are going to know even less about BlackBerry. I'm glad that they were able to do this.
And then 30 years from now, they're going to be playing with their BlackBerry VR brain
yeah,
chips.
BlackBerry's coming back, baby.
Yeah, software, go
A
invest.
10, Mason.
An absolute 10.
BB all the way,
But-
baby.
Yeah. Find me a product that I was in love with for 12 years. Make a movie about it.
Coke slushies.
we never back down.
Oh my
Bro,
god.
if they made Gas Stations the movie, holy shit.
Speedway
If
in a
that kind of stuff
documentary.
happens, it's just like, is Mason just somehow like manifesting
I'm
this
creating
movie?
these.
Will
Yeah.
Will Smith is the manager of a speedway.
Yeah.
And Mark Wahlberg is his co-star.
Right. But Mark Wahlberg is playing himself from the other guys.
Yeah.
I want a Coke, but I want to eat it with a spoon.
Yeah.
It's a Coke. It's a Coke, man.
Oh my
I'm a
god.
peacock.
Do you know what the critics thought about it?
98 from critics and a 93 from audience.
Woo!
This movie is still fairly new.
Yeah.
Very, very, very new, actually.
Not seen by many people.
Nope.
Well, it doesn't help that it had an absolute failure in the Canadian box office
Of all
opening
places.
weekend.
And it's not streaming anywhere.
No,
It's
it's
not.
not.
Yeah, it's on Apple. That's
It is.
Yeah,
For
ironically,
like-
it's
for
not.
And Voodoo.
$7.
Yeah.
Apple is like,
That,
look what we
that
did to it.
is, yeah, I didn't even consider that.
I didn't
either.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's pretty messed up.
that's pretty fucked up, Apple. Not gonna lie.
They should actually put it on the BlackBerry App Store.
Yeah.
Let's do it!
I'll
Hey, I
tell
can
you
probably
right
find it.
back.
What's even more crazy is that Black Mirror episode, Joan is Awful.
Yeah.
If anybody's seen that, that's on Netflix.
Nope.
It is astounding.
That'll be
Yeah.
interesting for me.
I
to
mean,
watch
it's
later.
good.
But on that note, spin that wheel. Spin that wheel.
Mason, did you put an arrow on there?
No, I did not. I'm
Okay.
gonna go down just by default.
Okay.
Whatever it is down.
Okay.
By
Mason,
default?
down bad.
Wasting my time.
That is wasting my time.
Tell me it's the woke band. Is it red?
So close. Wait, this one goes to
Man partners with ghosts to scam people.
Nathan.
Is that yours?
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
Man partners with
Well,
ghosts.
man partners with ghosts to scam people.
Is this Risk Cutters too?
I hope it's
No.
the Covenant. What was that
It's,
movie called? Constantine?
Yeah.
Twice.
So this is The Frighteners.
Oh
Oh,
no.
Have you
no.
ever heard of this?
Yes.
Never heard of it.
I've never heard of
This
it.
this.
I
How old
mean,
is
it's
this?
not
It's
that
not-
bad.
80s
It's,
or 90s?
yeah, it's not that old.
No.
It's
It's
actually the newest of the movies I put on.
Yeah, well,
he's giving us that little piece of sausage.
I was about to say, I feel
I'm
like it's
sort of-
late 80s, early 90s, something like that.
It is
Here's
from
the
96.
here's the cover.
Ooh, dead yet?
Dead yet?
Yeah, so
Michael J.
it's- Michael J.
Fox.
Fox is the lead on it.
Yeah. I've heard this name several
Interesting.
times, and I usually get it heard with, it's fucking bad, bro. Is the,
Oh,
this
yeah.
statement of it.
Wait, what is that?
Dude, just
Oh.
wait.
Yeah, I was
It-
saying, don't ruin it
It's a
over
lot
there.
of bad CGI.
I'm excited. This looks interesting. Did I see Gary Busey's in this?
We were so close to four-player hangout,
I
or
don't-
four-person.
Oh, we were.
I knew it. I told you we
Jake
were going to be right there.
Busey. Not
Poor
Jake.
man climbs
Busey,
into the
okay,
giant's
I don't know
mouth.
that.
Yeah, if you would just... Which letter is that? I think it's
But yeah,
mine.
It's on Stars,
Oh.
streaming for
It
free.
would have gone to the next
Oh
movie
well,
still.
there
Oh,
you
yeah.
go.
If anybody's got
A sign of
Stars.
quality.
Stars? Nobody has stars, you fool!
I love that Stars is trying to do something kind of like Showtime. Like Showtime has their own thing.
Yeah.
Showtime's still a thing?
Yeah, they have their own app now.
Oh my god. Wait,
Everybody's got their own.
does Cinemax have its own app?
I would have to assume.
Surely. I mean, unless they're a part of like
Yeah.
another like
the
app.
the
like...
size difference between these phones.
No, now open up your phone.
Okay, I was gonna say
No.
you also have a case, and you also pick the second size.
Hold on.
Take us away, Dylan.
Anyway, guys, if you like the content we're doing, make sure to subscribe to our channel. We do these episodes every time we do them, and and upload them. And then whenever they get there, if you want to know, because we sometimes don't even know, you got to hit that bell.
If you would like to just send us a random BlackBerry Bold
Thank you.
9000,
Yeah.
just do it.
Yeah, if you could send us the BlackBerry with the clicky screen.
Yeah, the Storm.
Yeah, that's the one I'm trying to
That
play.
thing was a freaking piece of work.
Click, click.
It was so weird.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
It's sick.
The whole thing had like an agitator behind it, and like you pushed down the screen, and the whole screen went. Boop.
Yeah.
Boop. It was
Um,
weird.
if you were alive during the time that Blackberries were coming out and you found it really fascinating, let us know in the comments below. Did you own a Blackberry? If you did, what kind? Did you think clicky phones were cool? Where's the keyboard? And if you are always wanting to know what we're doing and up to, you can make sure to check us out here. That's it. Because we don't upload stuff to Spotify anymore, Price.
I don't get the audio.
You told me not to send it anymore.
That's our show, guys. Make sure to tune in next week.
Turmoil.
For the Frighteners.
Woo!
You dead yet?
See you then.
No one,
Yet.
Yeah.
no one listened to our Spotify. There was no point.
Yeah. Yeah.
I listen to our Spotify.
No, you didn't.
No, I didn't.
I looked
No, I
at our listeners. It was like